Trent Duffy is a former deputy assistant to President Bush. Brad Woodhouse worked on President Obama's campaign as a senior advisor to the DNC. They both join us now. Nice to talk to you, gentlemen. And let me start with you, Brad. The president wants to spend another $75 billion of taxpayers' money on this. Is this the plan Americans are looking for?
Well, look, I think so. I mean, remember, President Obama said when he came into office that there was a three-legged stool we needed to construct, basically, to get the economy moving again. One was the recovery package he signed yesterday. One was getting credit flowing to markets again, which the Treasury Department is working on. And the other was this issue of foreclosures. And actually, this was a big issue in the debate on the recovery plan. Republicans didn't feel like the recovery plan did enough to address the housing issue, and certainly the plan he's going to announce today should allay those concerns of Republicans, because it is a robust initiative to prevent a bad situation from getting much, much worse.
But again, is it the right kind of initiative, Trent? Because we saw with the stimulus debate, there weren't a whole lot of Republicans who were lining up to support this president. What kind of backing is he likely to get with this plan?
I think the Republicans are going to be more receptive to this. Remember, it was John McCain who proposed using some of the TARP money, the first emergency plan money, for help for homeowners who are struggling with their mortgage payments. But listen, as Brad was saying, the big problem here is the credit markets, and I don't think the reason the markets haven't responded to this is that this is yet another painkiller. There's a lot of pain out there, and this plan is designed to reduce some of that pain. That is, people not being able to pay their mortgages. The real problem is in the credit markets, and unless the Treasury Department come clean and put forth their plan, and I realize it's tough because that's the toughest part, the credit markets are still going to be frozen. So we got to deal with the disease, not just the pain.
I just want to know, Trent, as you talk to some of your fellow Republicans in Washington, you say that he's likely to get a more receptive audience this time than he did with the stimulus package. What exactly are you hearing, and why are Republicans seemingly willing to go along with this?
Well, again, as I said, it's the principle that as we invest billions of dollars of taxpayer money, and I would clarify that this is part of that initial $700 billion that the Congress passed last year, right, that as we bail out banks, we should also certainly help those who are struggling with their payments. So that's a principle that Republicans, I think Democrats can unite about. But again, until we get to that core problem, which is the credit markets, there's going to be this freeze, and I think that's really where the Treasury Department and the President need to spend their time.
Brad, what about all those people out there who are following the rules and doing the best they can to pay their mortgages, and they're going through tough times too, but they're not foreclosing? What incentive do they have to continue playing by the rules when the guy next door to them, who maybe took too risky an investment when he purchased his mortgage, is now suddenly eligible for government help?
Well, look, some of those people, the very people you described, will be in that set of 5 million people who will get some help. Remember, this is a systemic problem that also involves people who aren't at the threat of foreclosure but can't refinance because their home values have dropped so dramatically. So some of those very people will get some help through this. But as I understand, the president is going to announce safeguards to prevent people who really irresponsibly took loans from getting this assistance. Also, irresponsible lenders won't be subject to this assistance if these safeguards are in place, as I understand that they will be from what's been reported so far.
Trent, what about those folks whose mortgages are now larger than the values of their homes? What kind of redress do they have?
Well, I think this is the plan that's designed to suit those people. I mean, from what I'm told, from what the president's going to say, there are going to be safeguards in place. And my hope is, and I hope Republicans are going to stay very wary, is that those safeguards are in fact in place, so that you don't have the kind of scenario that you just described, where someone who's worked hard and paid by the rules, who's paying their mortgage all the time, doesn't sit next to somebody who maybe did borrow too much. I'm hoping there's real teeth to these safeguards. We'll see if the details are there.
Americans want to see that too. Trent Duffy, Brad Woodhouse. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.